Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Stupidity is no close preserve of anybody. But I've seen the politicians the world over, despite the high office they hold, which of course they get because of their being street smart, they are marked by certain sense of being desperately lacking in common sense. Stupidity is a hallmark of over 90% of the parliamentarians, legislators, congressmen, senators. So it has come to be believed that to be a successful politician, you need to be stupid. Unfortunately, when the members of the judiciary join this tribe of stupidity, holding high positions, it's a matter of concern. Because judiciary is not only supposed to be the guardian and keep its eyes open for sense, it is to differentiate between the nonsense and sense, and when it self-talks in a nonsensical manner, it is shocking. And it leads the society towards backward trend, towards old, outmoded concepts. The judges in any country again can be stupid, but those in Pakistan and India take the cake. If I were a believer in God, I would have said, "Oh God, drum some sense into our judiciary." I'm aware that God has failed miserably to give even an iota of sense to judiciary. But if the judges can have some sense to differentiate between nonsense and real sense, then maybe will be saved the vomit of inanities and stupidity they mouth. Imagine a judge of a high court in India declares that a marital rape is not a rape. It's the right of the husband to have sex. This goes against all canons of the human rights, women's rights, and common sense of justice. Another judge says that because the girl, when she was beaten, opened her legs, so she is not a victim of rape. Forgets that she was terrified, forgets that she was beaten. But he says that the moment she opened her legs, she showed her consent. So rape is converted into a consensual sex act. Another judge, hearing a case of a child molestation, says, well, the man was not having a skin-to-skin contact. He was pressing her breast, so it's not a sexual assault until skin-to-skin contact is there. Thereby meaning that if a person has a condom and rapes a child, it's not a rape, not a child's rape, because there is no skin-to-skin contact. Imagination staggers as I recount these horrific, horrible, mind-boggling judicial stupidities. And now comes another High Court judge from Allahabad, which made a history by one of the judges declaring the election of Mrs. Gandhi null and void. And now this judge says that cows inhale and exhale oxygen, and cows should be made a national animal. The reality is, cows exhale carbon dioxide like any other animal, including mankind. And All animals, in fact including cows, exhale oxygen to some extent. And then he goes on to say, cow is a beautiful animal. It gives milk, and many families feed infants with cow's milk, which is akin to breast milk. He forgets that there are tribes which give even camel milk and goat milk to the infants. So why should they not have the same status? He goes on to say that the dung, which is a more manure component in organic farming, can be used as a main source of biofuel. So can the dung of the horses and the asses be used. He calls urine to be antibacterial product. Does he use it for his as aftershave lotion? I don't know. And then, nobody denies that cow is an animal where the milk of the cow has those ingredients which others don't have. Agreed. But that's not an exception. Now, he goes on further and he says cow's urine contains gold. It was a treatise. Cow's hooves can pull water from underground. Is a word best bacteria. It has the quality of being anti-poison. So has every milk. Even if a cow eats poison, it gives harmless milk with the poison eliminated. And then he goes on. Cow dung can protect us from harmful radioactive waves and from cancer. Was he, in fact, being the spokesman of the people like the former Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Travinder Rawat, when he said that cow is the only animal that inhales and exhales oxygen? And then somebody studied it. It has been seen that every animal in the world, including human beings, inhale oxygen, and the exhaling process contains some element of oxygen, not only cows. But to say that Gaumutra, the cow urine, is extremely good, including heart, kidney, TB, wow, where's the reality? And then another MP, Ajay Bhatt, goes on to say that if a pregnant woman can avoid cesarean deliveries if she drinks water of Garud Ganga, what a appeal. As a matter of fact, this stupidity is passing all limits. When Shekhar Kumar Yadav, the Allahabad High Court judge, issued this order, I couldn't believe it. Then I studied the books of zoology. And I found that only 4-5% of the total oxygen inhaled by any human being is utilized and the rest is released. And by the way, he forgot that carbon dioxide is CO2, 1 part of carbon, 2 parts of oxygen. Soma Gorai is an assistant professor in the Department of Zoology in Hindu College, and he says that we exhale carbon dioxide and other gases along with the residual gas. Encyclopedia Britannica writes, respiratory system in the system in living organisms that takes up oxygen and discharges the excess oxygen. Now, this stupidity goes further. On September 1, Special Public Prosecutor was referring to a speech being delivered by Sharjeel Imam. And let me tell you, according to me, Sharjeel Imam is guilty. He is guilty of creating communal hatred. He is guilty of extolling the enemies of the country. He is guilty of anything. But what are they charging him for? They are charging him that he started his speech by saying Assalamu alaikum. Is saying Assalamu alaikum a crime? No, that way. And the plea given is that this was an expression used only for wishing the Muslims, and he was in fact only addressing one community. Okay, so what? That way, Sikhs can be prosecuted for saying Sat Sri Akal. Christians or the English speaking can be prosecuted for saying good morning. Jews can be prosecuted for saying Shalom. And why not Hindus can be prosecuted for saying Jai Shri Ram or Jai Krishna? Everybody has his own way of salutation and address. To charge a Muslim for saying Salam is idiotic. No, it's an act of lunacy. And the stupidity goes further. This special public prosecutor is an officer of the court. It is his job to see that the justice is done. And he makes this stupid avowment to the court. And the court keeps quiet, doesn't pull him up. As a matter of fact, the court at the same time should have said, look here, Mr. Public Prosecutor, you are unfit to be the judge and you are hereby suspended from performing your job till you undergo a course in humanities. My concern is the judges saying that marital rape is not a rape. Judges saying that the rape of a girl by a man wearing a condom is acceptable, where the judges say that skin-to-skin contact only is responsible or acceptable as rape. When the judges say that a woman who is beaten and opens her legs in pain and is raped is not rape because she opened her legs and that's a consent. When the judges say that the cow exhales oxygen and is a panacea for all ailments and should be deemed a national animal. I have no complaint about being a national animal, let it be. But is it the domain of the judiciary to say so? I have always been saying that the judiciary has a right to interpret laws, to apply laws and see that the laws are not being violated. But it has no business making absolutely lunatic assessments, judgments, which will only impact the social order of the country. And the people will lose faith in judiciary and custodian. They know it, okay, we have wished in a certain way, we have said salam, so we are guilty of sedition. Can you believe it? That way, over 76% of the population of Punjab who say Sat Sri Akal are guilty of sedition. All the people in Gujarat who say Jai Krishna are guilty of sedition. And can you really say in a country which is inclusive that one form of salutation is acceptable and the other is not? You know, that way this guy, Shakil Imam, who is really guilty, who is really somebody who should be put behind bars, who should be asked to keep shut, is being absolved because you are raising a question about something inconsequential and thereby giving a cover to his defender saying, well, he is innocent. Look, he is being prosecuted for saying salam. As a matter of fact, these custodians of law and order, whether they are the prosecutors or the judges, are a danger to the society. They are, in fact, collaborating with the political stupidity to create a monstrosity or stupidity around the country as a whole. And the result is the countrymen would suffer ridicule globally, and justifiably so. And then I'm amazed that the Supreme Court, they did not intervene in these cases. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court collegium, the senior judges who decide who should be Supreme Court judge and who should be High Court judge, they have shown their incompetence by selecting these people as judges. And we should revert to the old system mentioned in the Constitution for the appointment of judges. The Chief Judge and the other judges should have taken suo motu action of these 4 and 5 statements. And if I really look at the total AIR, the legal reporter, I would find that these 4 examples which I have put are in fact just not even the tip of iceberg. The profound inanities are shocking. And the Supreme Court has failed to keep these judges on leash. They should immediately have been punished. I know legally you can't punish them because you can't remove a High Court or Supreme Court judge except by impeachment, which is not an easy job. But what Supreme Court has said is, okay, no cases go to them. That's within the power of the Supreme Court. Okay, let them keep on getting the salary, but no cases go over there. On the whole, as I said, I pity the land where stupidity reigns supreme, where politicians make stupid judgments and statements, but we have come to accept it because politicians would say that. They have to mislead people, they have to exploit people, so they'll come up with any stupid, zany and lunatic statement so that the people give them the vote and they can exploit them. But when the judges degrade themselves, they denigrate the country, the system, the polity, the traditions, and the very meaning of justice. It is a shocking thing. Lord, what fools these mortals be. That's correct as far as these judges are concerned, who are reinforcing the stupidity of the politicians. Do you see light at the end of the tunnel? Today I don't. Let's hope tomorrow there is. Supreme Courts wake up, or the President himself wakes up and calls upon the judges to behave like judges and not like some inmates of lunatic asylums. Thank you.